Hey everybody, how you doing? It is Mr. Bookman, and I will be reading The Little Wooden Robot and the Log Princess by Gauld. Please enjoy. The Little Wooden Robot and the Log Princess. Once there lived a king and a queen who happily ruled a pleasant land, but they had no children. So one night the king went to see the royal inventor, and the queen went to see a clever old witch who lived in the woods. They both asked for the same thing, a child. The inventor set to work straight away. She used her finest tools and her most ingenious designs, and she built a wooden and tri-gate little wooden robot. The witch took a log from a basket by her fire and used her deepest magic to bring the wood to life in the form of a perfect little log princess. The king and the queen and the princess and the robot all loved each other intensely. The log princess was bold and clever, but she had a secret. Each night she fell asleep, she turned back into a log, would stay like that until she was woken by magic words. Awake, little log, awake. The wooden robot was brave and kind, so kind, in fact, that he let a family of beetles nest in his workings, even though it tickled sometimes. Every day the robot would wake his log sister, and they would play in the castle and the garden until the sun went down and they were tired out. However, one morning, a traveling circus came to visit, and the robot rushed down to the courtyard without waking his sister. On the stairs, he passed a maid going up to tidy the prince's bedroom. When the maid saw the log, she said, "Oh dear, a plain old log laying in the prince's bed. What a disgrace," and threw it out of the window. At that very moment, the little robot thought of his sister. "How selfish of me," he said to himself. "She's missing out on all these wonderful things." And he ran to her bedroom to wake her up. He looked at the empty bed in horror. "Where's the log?" he cried. "Oh, that," said the maid. "I threw it out of the window." The robot looked out and spied the log rolling across the courtyard. He raced down, but the castle was atop a steep hill. The log had rode through the gate, over the drawbridge, and down towards the village. The goblin took the log to the river where a barge was tied up. The captain paid him a copper coin, and his bower load was tipped into a barge with hundreds of other logs. A goblin was pushing a barrel of logs through the village, and the prince's log rode right up to him. "What a lucky day," he said. "Another fine log for me." The robot ran to the barge. "Please, sir," he said to the captain, "my special log is in your barge. May I come aboard and search for it?" "You may," said the captain, "but we must sail straight away while the wind is right." So the robot climbed on, and the barge set off for frozen north. They sailed for days, but there were so many logs that even with the help of the crew, the little wooden robot would not find the right one. They arrived and unloaded the cargo. "Come back with us," said the captain. "The north is a dangerous place, and we can easily find you another log when we get home." "I can't," said the robot. "The log is the most precious thing in the world to me. I won't leave without it." So the crew gave him a map, some supplies, and hand cart, and sailed back to the pleasant land where our story began. The night was long and cold. The wooden log robot shivered as he searched. Then something caught his eye. Something familiar. He reached into the pile and pulled out a log. It was the prince's. He danced for joy with the log in his arms and was about to recite the magic words when he realized how awful it would be for his poor sister, who had fallen asleep in her cozy little bed, to wake up here freezing and far from home. So he put her in a handcart, tucked a blanket around her, took up to the handle, and began the long walk home. Along the way, they had too many adventures to recount there. The giant key, the family of robbers, the old lady in a bottle, the magic pudding, the lonely bear, the queen of mushrooms. Each left him more exhausted than the last. His joints became stiff, and his cogs and gears wore down until one day he couldn't go no further. Uh-oh. Do you think he'll be able to move? With the last of his strength, he said the magic words, woke the princess, and told her what had happened, how it was all his fault, and that he understood that she would probably never forgive him. "Oh, brother," she said, "how silly of you to keep all these worries to yourself. Of course I forgive you." She helped him into the handcart where he fell into a deep sleep. She took the map and the handle of the cart and continued to walk home. Too many adventures. The mischief pixies. The dragon egg. The feuding hunters. The haunted wall. The enormous blackbird. The baby in the rose bush. The princess knew whatever happened, however tired she felt, she must not fall asleep. But one night, as she was trudging through a dark forest, which she was sure couldn't be that far from home, she began to yawn, and then she yawned some more, and her eyes felt heavy, and her legs felt tired, and she thought of a cozy little bed in the castle. Perhaps I should close my eyes just for a moment, she said, and with that she fell asleep and pop, turned into a log. The king and queen missed their children terribly. Soldiers had been sent searching for each direction, and a huge reward has been offered, but it was no good. The queen would not leave her bed, and the king sat alone in a tower, staring out the deep, dark forest. Little did he know that the forest was a clearing, and in the clearing was a handcart, and in the handcart was a little wooden robot, and in that robot's worn out, broken down working, a family of beetles was wondering why everything was so still and so quiet. They climbed out and looked at the log and the robot and knew they must do something. So they stopped a passing mouse and asked her for help. And she asked a bird, who asked a rabbit, who asked a fox. And they all worked together to make the princess and the robot to the nearest house, the home of a clever old witch. The witch recognized the pair immediately. She woke the princess, repaired the robot, and set off for the castle. The king could hardly believe his eyes as he watched the little group all crowded into a broomstick fly over the forest and sat down in the castle courtyard. The robot and the princess and the queen and the king all hugged and laughed and cried. The witch was thanked. The month was declared a holiday for the whole kingdom. The beetles were each given a teeny golden medal, and they all lived happily ever after. Well, if it wasn't for the beetles, well, they wouldn't have been found, huh? Thank you, Mr. Beetles, for helping them. The Beatles did their job. Well, what did you think about this story? Did you enjoy it? If you did, can you give it a big thumbs up? Smash that thumbs up button. Can you do that? If you're new and you came along this book reading, can you hit that red subscribe button down below and subscribe to my channel and check out my other book readings I got? I got plenty, so feel free to check them out. Also hit that notification bell. Whenever I upload, you'll be notified. But until my next book reading, they call me Mr. Bookman. And this book reading's over. Have a good one. Take care.